Good morning, guys. How are we doing? Today's the 13th of July 2021 and I'm struggling right now. I've been in the throes of a fibro flare for the last 3-4 days and I haven't slept well at all. I was in a lot of pain last night. I'm in a lot of pain now. It is what it is. I'm not going to be able to do very much, but thankfully I did enough the other day. I was able to make 3 videos out of it, so for the next 2 days I don't really have to do anything much because you've got 2 videos coming up. Garden videos. Yay! I've been doing a lot of thinking about, where I want to be and what I want to be doing. And one of the things I had to consider was animals on the farm. Now, I'm not adverse to having animals on the farm. They're a great form of compost. Thank you very much. I will have your poop. And I've had animals before. I've had all sorts of birds, from geese to chickens to turkeys to quail to ducks. And it was awesome. We've even had sheep. I've even had a pig. Or a couple of pigs rather, because I never keep them in ones because that's just cruel. And I hand reared them, all of them, and I dispatched them myself when it was time. But I'm looking at all the ways that people are doing the homesteading thing and the small holding thing and all these chicken tractors that are going around, and I'm thinking, do you know what? I don't want one of them. I'm looking at the condition of the birds in the chicken tractors, and most of them are missing half their feathers, even on some of the bigger channels. And I'm like looking at them going, are you not seeing what this stress these animals are going through? And you think that that's okay? I know that they're trying to put a disconnect between them and the birds, but to me, if you're going to have animals and you're going to eat them, and you're going to raise animals for food, then at least give them the best life they can possibly have. Not a glorified cage on grass, because you may as well just go and buy battery chickens, as far as I'm concerned, because it's the same thing, only they're on grass. The only difference is that they're on grass and the cage is bigger. I just think it's wrong, but that's me. Also, the whole, when I had my place, or I've had the places that I've had over the years, I've never, except for when we were processing a pig or a sheep, killed hundreds of animals at once just to fill the freezer. Our chickens, if we needed a chicken, I'd go out, I'd dispatch a chicken or a rabbit. And the pigs were only done once a year. But I did a lot of wind drying and curing of the animal. And I made my own sausages, and I did all of that. Made my own salamis, did all of that. Very little of that meat ended up in the freezer. I get we're changing and things are changing and what have you, but What happens if the lights go out? What happens if your backup electricity goes? What happens if the electricity is pulled by an EMP? Because it wouldn't matter what backup electric you've got, it's not going to happen. It'll all be fried. And I'm like, do you know what? I'd rather use the methods that I used to use. I would. And cure it. Cure the meat. I very rarely see anyone on their homesteading journey who are actually curing meats. And that's quite sad. I mean, you can even brine meat. I've seen some people who've been canning it. That's cool. They're canning it into meals. Made up meals, or base starters for meals, which is a great idea. I think for me, I would want to have things less reliant on things like electricity or gas or anything like that. I would want to keep it as simple as possible and as basic as possible. Tanny eats meat, eats a lot of it. I love meat, I'm not going to lie. I love meat. A lot of my plant-based, but I'm plant-based for health reasons, because I can't eat the animals that we can afford to buy the meat from because of all the additives that are put in and the medications that are fed to the animals. And I react to those because you can't cook the medicine out. So for me, plant-based is the way that I have to go. And it's the same with dairy. If your animals have medicines in them, that medicine then goes into the milk, which again can't be cooked out. If I had my own animals, I'd have control over what was going into them, which is a really good thing at the end of the day. And what I really need to start looking at, except for this, I'm not sure if I could dispatch the animals anymore. I'm not sure I could. And I think if I can't do it, if there's a part of me that just cannot do that anymore, then maybe I have to rethink the whole thing about having animals on the property or eating meat altogether. Yeah. I think if my family was starving hungry and there were no options, which it'd have to be a pretty cold day in hell for that to happen, because obviously the garden would be huge. I think it's important to be part of the process, and if you can't be part of that process, I think you need to stay away from it. That's my personal opinion on the whole thing. I'm not saying I'm vegan, because I'm not in any way, shape or form. But I think for me, being honest with myself, I'm not sure I could do it unless it was a very extreme situation. The fact that I don't have to helps. It really does. It really, really does. I think I would have to think very strongly about what I would be doing. I might have birds. I don't know. Birds would be a good thing. But I think, yeah, if we were to have animals, it would be down to Tanny. And I'm not sure he could do it, to be honest. I mean, the thing is though, in this country you're supposed to have a butchering license. Not for personal, I think, I'm not sure if, I think there has to be, that's if you're going to share that meat with somebody else. You're all right to dispatch your own animals as long as you're not going to share the meat with somebody else. But if you want to share the meat with other people, then you have to have a butchering license. I have a butchering license. I do. I've had it for a lot of years. It seemed like the thing to do, you know, if you're going to cook these creatures, then start doing it from, you know. Anyhow, that's what I've been thinking of. And also, I just want to let you guys know that if I say something on social media that sounds a little bit negative, when I'm in levels of pain like this is not by any means an excuse, but it is a reason. When I'm in levels of pain like this, my ability to tolerate fuckwits is minimal. Not gonna lie. It's minimal. It doesn't exist. It really doesn't. Yeah. It's minimal. And I don't apologise for that. It's probably the only time when I'm completely honest. When I'm in such abject pain that I just have I have zero tolerance. Less than zero tolerance of morons and people who don't educate themselves. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I love you guys heaps. Bye. Blessings.